Stabilize!
In just a few moments, I will be gone. I still don't know what to expect on the moon. Will I really be able to send messages to my friends? The Kuhenki, the animals of Nod Cry. I'll never get to see them again. I wonder... This is where the people of Hyperborea used to communicate with the moons.
Eternal moon, frost moon, iridescent moon. When the power of all three converge...
The gate to the moons shall open.
Moon marrow preparations are complete. Only the final step remains.
I'm sure Nasha Town is livelier than ever at this moment.
Yeah, it's a shame you couldn't be there for it, but it's now or never, right?
It's fine. I'm more than happy with this. My last piece of luggage. My only piece of luggage. I can already feel the moon calling to me.
Your home lies on the far side of this light, Columbina.
From now on, we will at last have a reason to pray to the true moon.
Columbina.
Yes? I'm listening.
Be sure to come back and see us when you get the chance.
Of course.
But if that chance doesn't come, then remember that you have friends on this planet. People who will miss Columbina.
Yes, I will. Thank you for everything you've done for me. And remember, come night or day, the moonlight shall always connect us. Well then, farewell, my friends. Thank you. This was my happiest night in Tevat.
Farewell, Columbina.
The moon really is closer than ever tonight.
Columbina.
All 3 moons in one place. Time for one final experiment. Reason, life, death, time, and space. They all believed I would fail. But Tevat's primordial power never did belong to the throne of heaven. And now, they are mine.
Is free to wield the 3 moons' power. It's the only way. I guess I won't be going home today.
Columbina! No!
World, do not try to control me!
Columbina.
Are you all right? Do your wounds still hurt?
I had someone prepare a little medicine that could prove effective. Take it if you need to.
In that case, let me relate the contents of the call we made to Alice after the incident occurred.
That Dottore is a crafty one. He distracted the Hexenzirkel by creating a huge fuss at Tevat's borders. I'd assumed that the cause was an abyssal intrusion from the outside world, which in fairness is a rather common occurrence. But after learning that you managed to influence the phantoms in Nodcry, I realized that perhaps this interference could have come from within Tevat instead.
But we weren't able to change their fates.
True, you couldn't change how their stories ended, but you did build some variables around yourself.
Variables?
Yes. Things you heard that you could not otherwise have learned, ideas that would otherwise have never crossed your mind. All these things are variables. Of course, most variables usually pale into insignificance with the myriad of possibilities floating around. But the moment you start treating them as building blocks and intentionally stacking them, that changes things. That's what Dottore did, and it's how he created the necessary conditions so that when you activated the portal tonight, it played right into his plan.
However, we have no way of knowing exactly what he did.
Yeah, we also need to ascertain Columbina's status.
And that about sums it up.
As I suspected, Dottore has disappeared completely. If it's any consolation, he wasn't able to control Columbina as he might have wished to.
Oh no! What? She did what? All we saw was Dottore appeared and used some kind of power. The next thing we knew, he and Columbina were gone and you were falling into the sea.
So, Columbina intentionally opened the Moon Gate and escaped into the same mysterious world as Rarier and Thalindis.
Sounds like bad news.
Seen in that way, the Trilunar Syzygy and Revere's emergence, Dottore might have been pulling the strings in both cases. According to Miss Alice, he is attempting to transcend his destiny and finish an experiment that only a god might complete.
An utter lunatic.
Wait a sec, where's Hat Guy? Seems like he'd want to be here for this.
He took off with the Dodo communication device after we spoke to Alice. He said he had a hunch that he wanted to investigate by himself. The look on his face was terrifying. I've never seen him like that before.
I'm back.
Hat Guy!
I went to look for the Hyperborean phantoms again. I think I've gotten to the bottom of it. I got them to talk to Nicole on the other end of the communications line. Turns out, the history they describe is different from how Nicole remembers it.
Really? But how? Surely Nicole can't have been wrong.
Because the phantoms are the ones who are deceived. They speak of a savior who appeared in their history. One who never should have existed. This savior promised to create a new moon within the false sky, and even bring back their moon goddesses. Foolishly, they believed in him, and told him everything he wanted to know about the moons. It's obvious that this was Dottore's doing.
Now you mention it, the first time we entered the Hyperborean ruins, we heard the phantoms discussing their history, and I remember Nicole commenting that something sounded a little strange.
But Dottore shouldn't have been able to get in there in the first place.
He didn't. Nicole said that this was an anomalous state triggered by disruptions in the causal connections between phantoms from the same era. The variables that Dottore put in place were substantial enough that they even affected phantoms that he never met.
So it's not that their memories were unclear. They'd been tampered with.
That's exactly the possibility Dottore was trying to manufacture. He turned these variables into knowledge and engineered the situation so all that knowledge would fall into his hands. Then, he harnessed that knowledge on Moon Prayer Night to truly create a false moon.
How is that even possible?
To be precise, he exploited a weakness in the way the spell works The spell senses Kuvaki to detect the moon's location. So, as long as the false moon more strongly resembled a moon than the frost moon beyond the skies, the gate would teleport Columbina to the false moon's location. In other words, to Dottoro's side. Once he had her under control, the teleportation spell remained active, and he manipulated her power to seize both moon marrows.
At that moment, the moon marrows disappeared right before our eyes. It was already too late, even as we were leaving the ruins.
By then, Dottore had already amassed the power of all 3 moons.
So, where does that leave us? What do we do now?
I'd certainly like to know what Her Majesty thinks, now that the concerns I expressed to her have come to pass. But we cannot simply sit and wait for her to decide the matter. And in any case, it is not the Fatui Harbinger Damselette who sees us as her friends, but rather Columbina Hyposelenia. If, even in such extreme circumstances, Her Majesty will not lift the prohibition on Harbingers drawing steel against one another, then I will do as my heart demands. I will fight as Peruware instead.
Oh, Arlecchino!
Time is short, so I'll make the first move.
Whew. Even Arlecchino seems to be losing her cool now.
All right. Lose those dejected looks for a moment and let me get a word in. It looks bad, I won't lie. Very bad, in fact. So Dottore's pulled some real dirty tricks to gain the upper hand. For now. And yeah, it's to the point where even the mages say that his variables have affected destiny. I'm not so sure, though. Many have told me that Tevat's destiny is fixed, and that does appear to be the case. Well, what makes Dottore so sure he'll be the exception? And since he was able to stack these variables up, who's to say we can't do the same? You of all people should not be discouraged, traveler from afar. This isn't over yet. And you're not alone in that. Everyone here does, whether they've spoken thus far or not. But none of us are the type to sit back and wait for the sun to shine again. That's exactly how a knight should roll. If they knock you down, you get back up and get back in it. Don't forget, Honorary Knight, you're a legitimate member of Mondstadt too.
Fark is right. This is far from over. Dottore's already way overdue a butt-kicking given his past shenanigans. And after this, he's earned himself a double dose.
That's what I'm talking about. How's everyone else feeling?
I'll use Kuvaki to investigate Columbina's whereabouts. I am not ready to give up either.
Leave the intel gathering to me. Whatever happens within Nodcry's borders, when the Curatorium of Secrets wants to be in the know, we always find a way.
Ano and I will do all we can to support you. We will attempt to reverse engineer Dottore's actions and seek a breakthrough that way.
Alice and Nicole are busy dealing with an emergency at Tevat's borders, so they can't return just yet. But they're both very angry about this. They've asked Albedo and me to act on the Hexenzirkel's behalf and do everything in our power to fight back against Dottore.
Are you ready then? We're going to have to conduct a lot of research, even in the early stages.
I'll do my best.
As for me, I'm pretty familiar with Dottore's way of doing things, so I can try to predict his next move. I'll help with your investigation.
Nice! Looks like we have our basic division of labor. I'll get in touch with Flint's and Itlua, get them to have a chat with their Starshiner. It couldn't hurt to bring the Lightkeepers on board as well. At the same time, I'll pass on instructions to the knights present in Nodcry to assist the Lightkeepers and other organizations in ensuring the safety of those living here. That's it then. Good luck, everyone.
I never thought that Columbina would become my real name. It went from being a Fatui code name to something my friends call me. And remember, come night or day, the moonlight shall always connect us.
Wherever in this world I roam, I carry memories of my home. This blade,